Hello friends, welcome to the next session as part of greedy approach or greedy technique. Today we'll look at another example. It's a very good example for greedy technique, that is activity selection problem, right? As the name suggests, we need to select the activities and schedule them within a given time frame. So let us look at it in detail. So it's an optimization problem. We already know greedy algorithms or greedy approach is used for optimization. Because it is an optimization problem, greedy technique is used to find the solution. It deals with the selection of non-conflicting activities that needs to be executed by a single person or machine in a given time frame. Again, I repeat, it deals with the selection of non-conflicting, which does not conflict. There is no interference between the activities that needs to be executed by a single person or a machine in a given time frame. Each activity is marked by a start and finish time. Each and every activity has its start time and a finish time. The problem statement for activity selection problem is, given a set of n activities with their start and finish times, we need to select maximum number of non-conflicting activities that can be performed by a single person or machine, given that the machine or person can handle only one activity at a time. Fine. So this is a problem statement for activity selection. Now what is the objective? The objective is to find the solution set having maximum number of non-conflicting activities that can be executed in a single time frame, assuming that only one person or machine is available for execution. Now suppose you have a set of activities, right? Let us say A is a set of activities n, having n proposed activities. The activities share resources which can be used by only one activity at a time. Example, if you can talk about the badminton court. The badminton court is there. Now it can be used by many number of teams who arrive there, right? But at a time, court can be used only by one team. Unless and until the first team finishes, the next team cannot come, right? Similarly, when we are talking about lecture room, see, preparing timetable is not that easy. Preparing timetable is nothing but scheduling your lectures. And when you are scheduling your lectures, it is a type of activity selection problem. Why? Because one lecture cannot collide with the another lecture. Unless and until first lecture gets over, the second lecture cannot be scheduled. The second lecture gets over, third lecture cannot be scheduled. So here what you are doing, you are sharing the common resource as a lecture room. And what are the activities? Activities are the different lectures which will be conducted in that particular lecture, right? So each activity has a start time, SI, and a finish time, FI, where start time is always less than or equal to finish time. Now, two activities, let's say I and J, are said to be non-conflicting if the start time of activity I is greater than or equal to finish time of activity J, or the start time of activity J is greater than or equal to finish time of activity I, right? So first you are scheduling I and then you are scheduling J. Now what is the algorithm here? I hope the concept is clear. What we are doing here is, we are given a set of activities and we are going to get a solution set of activities in which we'll give a set of activities which can be scheduled in a particular time frame and which will not interfere with each other. Fine. Now for the algorithm, you have input. So what is the input? You have activity, set of activities containing all activities, right? You have array of start that will contain the start time of all activities. You have array finish, which will contain the finishing time of all the activities. So activity, start time and finish time. So what is expected output? Output is an array of solution, right? It's a solution set which will contain the maximum number of non-conflicting activities. Non-conflicting activities. Fine. Now what are the steps? So here, why we call it as a greedy approach? We call it as a greedy approach because every time we'll be selecting the activity which has minimum finishing time, right? Which is minimum at that particular time. Right? So we call it as greedy approach. At that particular time, select the activity with the minimum finish time and it is not conflicting with the next previous activity. So what is the step one? Sort the given activities in ascending order according to their finishing time. This is where the greedy comes, right? What is the next step? Select the first activity from the sorted array and add it to the solution array, right? So from the select the first activity after sorting the array in a ascending order of the finish time. Pick up the first activity, add it to the solution set. Now step 3 is what? Repeat step 4 and 5 for remaining activities in activity set. So what step 4 says, if the start time of the currently selected activity is greater than or equal to the finish time of previously selected activity, then add it to the solution set, right? And select the next activity in activity set. Print the solution at the end, right? So at the end, the solution set will contain all the activities which can be scheduled. So the concept will be more clear if we take an example. So what you are given the activities, right? A1 to A10, and each activity has its start time and finish time. Start time and finish time. So start time of A1 is 1, finish time is 3, start time of A2 is 2, finish time is 5. Right? Now, what is the step 1? Step 1 is sort the given activities in ascending order according to their finishing time. So you need to sort the activities on their finishing time. So after sorting, this is what you get, right? So now you have A1, A3, A2, A4, A6, A5, A7, A9, A8, and A10, right? After sorting. Now this is what will be the input for our activity selection algorithm, right? Now, select the first activity from the sorted array, right? The first activity is A1 here, right? And add it to the solution set. So we have added A1 directly to the solution set. Select the first activity from the table here and add it to the solution set. That means you can schedule A1. Now, next you look at A3. Now, whether you can schedule A3 or no, you need to check it. How do you check it? If the start time of A3 is greater than or equal to end time of A1. If the start time of A3 is greater than or equal to finish time of A1, then I can schedule A3. Now, if you look at it, the start time of A3 is 3, the finish time of A1 is 3, right? So it is equal in fact. So you can schedule A3 after A1. So what you'll do now, add A3 to the solution set, right? So start time of A3 is equal to finish time of A1. So add A3 to the solution set. So after A1, A3 can be scheduled. Fine. Okay. Now next, what you have is A2. Again, now check what is the previous activity. Previous activity is A3. Now we are looking at the activity A2, whether we can schedule it. Now, if you look at it, the start time of A2 is 2 and the end time of A3 is 4. That is the previous activity, right? The start time of A2 is 2 and the end time of or finish time of activity A3 is 4. Now, what we expect it like the start time should be greater than or equal to the finish time, but here it is not so. Here the start time is less than the finish time of previous activities. Unless until the previous activity finishes, you cannot schedule the new activity, right? So what you'll do now, you'll skip A2. A2 will not be added to the solution set. Why? Because its start time is less than the end time of previous activity, that is A3. So you need to skip A2. A2 will not be added to the solution set. So the next activity now what you consider is A4. Fine. Now the previous activity is already A3 because A2 is skipped. So again you check the start time of A4 is 4, right? And the finish time of A3 is also 4. So as soon as this gets over, it can be scheduled. Fine. It can be scheduled. So you schedule A4, so add A4 to the solution set. Now what your solution set has? Solution set has A1, A3 and A4. Fine. Now next, the previous activity what you already have is A4 in the solution set. Now next you consider as A6. Again check. Now the end time of A4 or finish time of A4 is 7 and the start time of A6 is 8. Right? What is the concept? The start time of this activity should be, the current activity should be greater than or equal to end time of previous activity. Now previous activity is A4, The end time is 7, which is less than the start time of new activity, that is A6. So A6 can be scheduled. Am I making sense? A4 is my previous activity. It is already there in the solution set. Now the new activity I am considering is A6. So whenever I want to check whether I can schedule this A6 or no, I confirm or I check its start time with the end time of the previous activity, right? So end time is 7, start time of the new activity is 8. So it is greater than the end time of previous activity. So A6 can be scheduled. So now what you do, add A6 to the solution set. So now your solution set has A1, A3, A4 and A6. The next activity what we consider is A5. Fine. Now check what is the previous activity now. Previous activity is A6 and A5 is the current activity we are looking at. Now look at the start time of A5 is 7 and end time of A6 is 9. So the end time of previous activity is greater than the start time of current activity. Right. So there is a conflict here. Unless and until the previous activity completes, you cannot start the current new activity, right? So you cannot schedule A5, you just need to skip the activity A5. Again, I repeat, the start time of A5 is less than the end time of A6. So there is a conflict, right? These are two conflicting activities. So what you do, you skip A5, fine? Now A5 is skipped, so our previous activity is A6. The next activity what you consider is A7. Now again check, the start time of A7 is 9 and the end time of A6 is also 9. So it is equal. So this can be scheduled. So just add A7 to the solution set. So now the solution set has A1, A3, A4, A6 and A7. Okay. The next activity what you consider is A9. Previous activity is A7, right? Again, check the finish time of A7 and the start time of A9. That is the finish time of previous activity and the start time of the current new activity, right? It is same. So what we'll be doing now, this is also 11, this is also 11. So add it to the solution set. A9 is added to the solution set. The next activity what you consider is A8. Now the previous activity is 9, right? For A8, previous activity is A9. Now again check, the start time of A8 is less than the end time of previous activity, that is A9. This is 12, this is 9, right? So A8 cannot be scheduled. Why? A8 has to wait till A9 gets over, but the start time of A8 is 9 and the end time of A9 is 12. So A8 cannot be scheduled. So skip A8. Now, the last activity in the set you have is A10. The previous activity is A9 because we had already skipped A8. Now check. The start time of A10 is 12 and the end time of previous activity, that is A9, is 12. So it is same. Either it should be same or this should be greater than this. So it can be scheduled. So add A10 to the solution set. Now the set of activities is over. Thus the final set of activity which can be scheduled one after the other is A1, A3, A4, A6, A7, A9 and A8. Right? So this is just a greedy solution for scheduling the activities so that there are no conflicts and maximum number of activities can be scheduled. Fine. Now what are the applications here? Scheduling events in a room having multiple competing events, as I already told you, even if you look at a marriage hall or some multi-purpose hall, right? You can use this algorithm to schedule the events. Scheduling and manufacturing multiple products having the time of production on the same machine, right? Resource sharing here, resources same and with different activities. Scheduling meetings in one room, several use cases in operation research. Now, these are two examples what I want you to try. The first example, I have already given you the sorted finish time. So this step is saved. In the second example, you need to sort it. Fine. Try it out. I hope the concept is clear. It's very interesting with a real life example of scheduling your own classroom for the lectures as per the timetable. Right? And it uses greedy approach because at each step we are checking or we are taking the job with the or activity with the minimum finishing time. Fine. Stay home, stay safe. If you have any doubts, you can message me or put it in a comment. Thank you.